On the morning of March 18, 1990, two men dressed as police officers entered the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. They left 81 minutes later with 13 pieces of art worth over $500 million. That's $500 million. 30 years later, not one single painting has been recovered. No one has ever been charged. And the empty frames still hang on the walls today, right where the paintings used to be. This is the story of the greatest unsolved art heist in history. Before the heist, before the mystery, let's talk about the museum itself. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum isn't some random gallery. It was designed from the ground by a woman who wanted to share her obsession with art with the world. Isabella Stewart Gardner was a wealthy patron of arts in the late 1800s. She traveled Europe, bought up paintings, sculptures, rare books, you name it. She built the museum in the style of a Venetian palace, and when she died in 1924, she left strict instructions in her will. Nothing in the galleries could ever be moved or changed. The layout had to stay exactly how she arranged it, forever. It was meant to be an experience, a snapshot of her vision. Now fast forward to 1:24 a.m., March 18th, 1990. It's the day after St. Patrick's Day in Boston, so the city's still buzzing from celebrations. Two men dressed as Boston police officers ring the buzzer at the side of the entrance of the museum. They say that they're responding to a disturbance call. The security guard on duty, a 23-year-old named Rick Abbott, breaks protocol and lets them in. Abbott was a musician, kind of a laid-back guy. He'd worked at the museum for a while, but he wasn't exactly military grade when it came to security. And honestly, security at the museum wasn't top tier either. No motion sensors in key areas, no security guards in every gallery. It was a small team working overnight. Once the alleged cops were inside, everything went sideways. They told Abbott and the second guard, 25-year-old Randy Heist, that they were under arrest. The guards were handcuffed, taken to the basement, and duct taped to pipes. One of them was told, quote, "This isn't a joke," and then the thieves went to work. Over the next 81 minutes, they moved through the museum, cutting paintings out of their frames, smashing glass, and yanking works right off the walls. They didn't trigger the alarm system because it wasn't connected to the police. The whole thing played out in silence. So what exactly did they walk away with? The two crown jewels of the heist were, without a question, a Vermeer and a Rembrandt. First, the Concert by Johannes Vermeer, one of the only 34 known Vermeer paintings in existence. That alone puts it in the tens of millions range, possibly even more today. It's a quiet domestic scene, people gathered around a piano, but it's priceless in the art world. Then there's Rembrandt's The Storm of the Sea of Galilee. It's his only known seascape, showing Jesus calming the waves with his disciples panicking around him. The drama, the scale, it's a masterpiece, and now it's gone. But that wasn't all. In total, the thieves took 13 items. The mix is weird. Some of the works were museum highlights, others were obscure. And that's one of the big mysteries in this case. Was this a targeted heist with a buyer in mind, or did they just grab what was easiest to carry? Even stranger, some of the museum's most valuable works, like Titian's Rape of Europa, were completely untouched. So were several larger paintings right nearby. It's like they either didn't know what they were looking at, or they were looking for something very specific. Now, here's where things get muddy. Over the years, dozens of suspects have come and gone. The FBI's main theory, it was a local job tied to Boston's organized crime scene. A name that comes up a lot is Bobby Donati, a known associate of the Patriarcha crime family. He was rumored to have tried to use the paintings as leverage to get a friend unreleased from prison. He was murdered in 1991, about a year after the heist, which only adds to the intrigue. Another name is David Turner. He was convicted for an unrelated armored truck robbery in the early 2000s, but he was once considered a person of interest. He's denied any involvement. There's also the idea that the artwork was taken overseas. Some claim that the paintings were sold to a private collector, someone who knows they can never be publicly shown again. Others think that the works are hidden somewhere in New England, sitting in a basement or behind a fake wall. And then you have the truly bizarre leads, people who claimed they saw the Vermeer in Ireland, or someone who tried to ransom the Rembrandt in the Middle East. None of it ever panned out. The FBI has followed up on over 30,000 tips. In 2013, they said publicly they believe they know who committed the heist, but those individuals are now deceased. Their identities were never officially revealed. And there's the statute of limitations. In 1995, the limit for prosecuting the theft itself expired. That means if someone came forward with the paintings today, they couldn't be charged for stealing them, only for possessing stolen property. The Gardner Museum has offered a $10 million reward for any information leading to the return of the art. That's the largest reward ever offered by a private institution. Today, the empty frames still hang on the museum's walls, just as Isabella Gardner's will instructed. They're not placeholders, they're symbols of loss. So the question remains, were the thieves amateurs who got lucky, or pros who disappeared into the shadows forever? Did the paintings burn? Are they in a storage locker, a villa, a bunker? Let me know what you think in the comments. What theory do you buy? Is this the perfect crime, or someone out there is still hiding the truth? If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe and check out some of my other videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.